Question 1. The organization shall determine requirement specified by the customer. This will help the organization to improve their quality. The product or service provided and organization must be suited to customer needs. Knowing and understanding customer needs is the center of every successful business. This will help the organization to persuade potential existing customer to buy the organization product or service. Besides that, it is important for the organization to obtain customer views and perception instead of just customer feedback. And it is crucial for the organization all around the world to satisfy the needs of their customer. In order to do this, they must adhere to set guidelines and requirements for the product. The requirement for products and service help to regulate, maintain and control quality of the product and service to meeting customer requirement. Next, question 2. Explain your understanding of what is meant by process approach. The process approach of ISO 9000 involves understanding and consistency in meeting requirement, consideration of process in terms of added value, achievement of effectiveness, process performance. The process approach in ISO 9000 involves the understanding and consistency in meeting requirement, consideration of process in terms of added value, achievement of effective process, performance and improvement of processes based on evaluation of data and information. The process approach directly links process input that come from suppliers to the output of the process that go to customer. Inputs to a process are generally output of other process. Process in an organization are planned and carried out under control condition to add value and improve. Process approach organize and manage work horizontally. The way works activities create customer value rather than being isolated in a silo mode. Hence, it shows the process approach is how the organization manage their business, a system of process, not department of people or product. It have good result, the interaction, the input-output that tie the processes together. Between this process is important. The output of one process is out, the input of another process, which stresses the importance of not treating each process as an individual silo such as the department job. Each process need to ensure it deliver output, but the next process need inputs. Every organization is made up of a series of interacting process. A process is a set of activity that use resources, people, machines, and so on to transform inputs into output.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Syarian bin Jumaat and I would like to present about the ISO 9001. Documentation shall include documents needed to ensure the effective planning, operation, control of each process. The organization QMS must include all documented information required by ISO 9001 and the documented information determined by the organization as being necessary for the effectiveness of the QMS. The extent of the documented information can differ from one organization to another due to the size of organization and its type of activity, process, product and services, complexity of processes and their interaction, competence of person. The requirement of this clause is linked to clause quality management system and each process, which require an organization to maintain documented information to extent necessary to support the operation of processes and retain documented information to extent necessary to have confidence that the process are being carried out as planned. Specify all the different type of documentation needed for your QMS. The needs to have additional documentation beyond those specified in this standard may be depend upon customer regulatory and your own organization requirement. Other factors to consider may include the complexity of product, service and processes, type of activity, the effect on quality, the risk of customer dissatisfaction, economic risk, effectiveness and efficiency. The competence of personnel require you to have needed to ensure the effectiveness of the QMS. Each of organization must determine what documentation is needed to achieve this based upon the complexity of product and service, type of activities, effect on qualities, the risk of customer dissatisfaction. A document is an information that is written or recorded on some medium such as paper or computer. A document may specify requirement, for example, a drawing or technically specification, may provide direction, for example, quality plan or show result or dividend of activity performed, for example, record. And the term of documented information is used for all document requirement in ISO. For specific terminology used in ISO 9001-2008 such as document or documented procedure, ISO 9001-2015 define requirement to maintain documented information. In ISO 9001-2008, the term record was used to denote document needed to provide evidence of conformity with requirement. In 9001-2015, this is now expressed as a requirement to retrain document information. The organization is responsible for determining what documented information need to be retained, the period of time for which it is to be retained, and the media to be used for its retention. The requirement to maintain documented information may also include the possibility that the organization can retain that same documented information for a particular purpose, for example, to retain previous version of it. When the term information rather than documented information is used, the organization may choose not to document the information. The organization shall monitor and review the information about this external and internal. The organization can decide whether or not it is necessary or appropriate to maintain documented information. Next, I will explain more about the ISO shall determine the monitoring and measurement to be undertaken to provide evidence of conformity of product to determine the requirement. The process of monitoring and measuring as stated in ISO 9001 ensure conformity for all products and services. This includes making sure that all equipment is valid, up to date, calibrated and working properly. All measurements that are taken must be accurate and recorded for monitoring purpose. The main objective of the monitoring and measuring resource process are determine resource needed to accurate result, to provide resource, to measure, to verify product and service against requirement, as well as to document result for monitoring. Monitoring and measuring resource is very detailed and specific in order to have the organization come out with the best and most accurate result. With the use of this strict measurement standard, there is virtually no room for mistake when all guidelines are properly. This is increasingly important when it's come to running a business, because resources are everything. If a business does not have control over the resources that are coming in and out, they will not be able to establish a clear vision of where the company is going. All adjustment and calibration that take place during this process, as well as actual measurement that are required, must be neatly recorded and documented for monitoring purpose, which will help the company personnel to keep track to resources that they have measured, while being able to compare and contrast the number with previous and the future statistic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yasmin Nadira. So today I would like to present to you ADM510 regarding topic number 9 is ISO 9001. So first, the quality management system. The quality management system shall include a quality manual. As a quality manual is a document that states the company's intentions for operating the process within the quality management system. It can include policies for all areas of the businesses that affect your ability to make high quality products and meet your customers and ISO's requirement. These policies define how your department managers will implement procedure within the boundaries specified in the quality manual. The use of the quality manual is as follows. To communicate management's expectations to employee, to demonstrate the company's plan to conform to the requirement of ISO 9001:2015, to demonstrate the fulfillment of clause 5.3 that organizational roles, responsibility, and authorities are assigned, communicate, and understood. Fourth is to provide a starting point for auditors. There are 3 auditors, which is internal auditors, customer auditors, and ISO certification body auditors. In the ISO 9001, a quality manual is a document that was first required by the standard for the quality management system, which is a top-level document that describes an organization quality management system known as QMS. It can be used for both internally for employees and externally for customer audit. It's common for a good auditors to ask to see a quality manual in advance of an audit to get a feel for the organization's QMS. By looking at the contents of a quality management quality manual, then the auditor will start to get an appreciation of an organization in advance of an audit. Next is to establish and implement the inspection or another activities necessary for ensuring that purchase product meets specific requirements. In ISO 9001, the testing and inspection procedure is used to verify material, product, and service conformance, which lead to achieving the ISO 9001 certification, as well as to verify that the company conforms to the requirements specified in the QMS manual. Testing and inspections are important because it enable organization to define the process for testing, to define the process for inspection activities needed to verify the product, to verify the process, input or output need to conform to the specific requirement, as well as keeping a document recorded of every inspections on file. This need to include the evidence of conformity, traceability of the auditors, verifiable against the QMS.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our lecturer and our friends. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nurida Shana Kasim, and I will explain about the ISO. Okay, what is the ISO? The ISO family is a quality management system. QMS is a set of standards that help organizations ensure that they meet customer and other stakeholder needs within statutory and regulatory requirements related to a product or service. Okay. ISO 9000 identify a process approach as one of the quality principles that support the achievement of quality objectives. Okay, I will answer the questions number 2A. The question is explain your understanding of what is meant by a process approach. The introduction of ISO 9001-2015 means that consistent and predictable results are achieved more effectively and efficiently when activities are understood as integrated process that function as a current system. An ISO 9000 process approach is a management strategy which incorporates the plan, do, check, act, cycle, and risk-based thinking. It means that we not only understand what the core process are, but we do consider how they fit together. Organizations are typically structured into departments, which are managed by a department head. The head is responsible for what comes out of the department. Most departmental heads never interact with the external customer, only internal one. As such, they are divorced from how the customer really feels. If key performance indicators set by department, this compounds the problems. He tried to maximize the performance of their departments to the possible detriment of other departments further down of the line. The ISO process approach introduced horizontal management, controlling process which flow across department boundaries. Someone is accountable from start to finish. They see the whole picture from the process, initiations to process completions. They understand what the stakeholder in the process want and have delegate authority to L and realize this. And employees, first loyalty is to their assigned projects, product or service rather than their own department. Also, the process approach can be defined is ISO 9000 involves other understanding and consistent dalam meeting requirement. Hence, it shows that the process approach is how the organization manage their business as a system of process, not department or people or product. This work because if an organization has a good process, it will have a good result. The interactions between the input and output that tie the process together between the process is important. The output of one process is the input of another process, which stress the importance of not treat each process of an individual also such as department and job. That's all from me. Thank you.
Two key goals of quality management are emphasized throughout the scope of the standard. Companies are encouraged to develop methods and systems that ensure consistent product and service production while also improving customer satisfaction through conformity and improvement. The ISO 9000-2015 standard is compared to the ISO 9001-2015 standard through normative references. The emphasis on ISO 9000-2015 vocabulary and definition is meant to aid in the understanding of basic terminology. Clause 4. Context of the organization. It is impossible for a company to exist in a vacuum free of external influences such as what customers want or how regulators define success. In this section, we will talk about how an organizational goals can be influenced by both internal and external factors as well as the QMS various stakeholders. The scope of the QMS and process mapping and characterization are also included in this document. Clause number 5 is leadership and commitment. Top management is expected to promote customer focus across all areas of the organization, develop and adhere to a quality policy outlining goals, assign responsibilities and define authority across the QMS in order to make it clear who has decision-making authority and what is expected of each function working within the system. Clause number 6 is a planning for the QMS risk and opportunity as well as quality objective linked with the quality policy are presented in this section. Clause number 7, it is support and resource management. A wide range of topics are covered in Clause 7, which includes the provisions of resources, including human resource, infrastructure, including equipment, hardware and software, building facilities, working environment, which include temperature, humidity, dust and sterilization, and the operational knowledge needed to operate the QMS. The implication of human resource expertise, awareness, and communication is highlighted. Clause number 8, it is operational planning and control. In this section, a corporation has the option of neglecting some or all of the requirements, such as excluding the design requirement if your company does not do design work. Planning for a product or services include many steps, such as identifying and documenting the specific of what needs to be built, as well as designing and developing it, as well as obtaining it. The final set of requirements focus on products or service quality, control, and submission issues. Clause number 9, it is a performance evaluation. Customer satisfaction, internal audit, monitoring, analysis, and evaluation of process performance are covered in the performance evaluation area. Management review requirements such as mandatory inputs and outputs are also covered. And the last is clause number 10. It is improvement actions. Corrective actions and ongoing improvement are the focus of the final segment. The most challenging part for implementing the standards criteria is ensuring that the resulting collection of policies, procedures, processes, and records fits the demands of the firm and its customer while still allowing for improvement of the system. As a long-term benefit of the business, a QMS primary purpose is to enhance the existing system. To put it another way, a QMS is a system, and a system don't just consist of the sum of their parts.